I'm going to be murdered by my wife in a few weeks' time. So I'm just starting to
R.I.P.
say my goodbyes and everything.
Welcome to Multiple Nerdgasm with your hosts, Matt, Luke, and Dan. Multiple Nerdgasm, your guide to all things nerdy.
What have you done? Or what are you going to do?
Well, you already know what I've done, and it comes out in a couple of weeks.
Who are you going to do?
Oh, Starfield?
Starfield comes out in a couple of weeks.
Wait,
God, does it?
It does. I think...
she banned you from playing it or something?
No.
On pain of
He's
death?
just never going to see her again. He's going to get a Starfield wife now. And
well, then she doesn't need to kill him, does she? She can just move on with her life.
Look, remember
she could just continue living her life, and Luke will she just has to
not be
start
in it.
putting food outside the door.
No, it's not that. It's remember there was an expensive collector's edition that they announced?
Oh, you
I do
didn't.
remember
Did you
that.
buy the bomber jacket
with a
as well?
watch and a jacket and a...
Oh, I didn't know about a jacket. I'm getting the watch.
I think the jacket's a new thing. It's like merch. But yeah, there's a fancy bomber jacket. It looks very nice.
I might look into that though. But I've got the watch.
I would get murdered if I bought that because I have more
watch,
than enough jackets.
Yeah.
It looks like a nice
the watch is nice.
And I like it because it's a smartwatch, but not, it's just going to be very basic, like steps and health.
It's a dumb smartwatch.
Yeah.
I don't even wear a smartwatch anymore. I wear this.
Yeah,
Timex.
nice.
Yeah.
Come over to the dark side of watches. I'm not wearing one right now. I'm practically nude.
I just hate the fact that I have to charge my watch every day.
Yeah, that's what I got sick of too.
Yeah, it's like every day you have to take it off, even though there's a sleep function on it that tracks your sleep.
Well, that's why I stopped wearing expensive watches. So I've got like one Swiss-made watch.
Fancy mechanical one.
That you've got to wind it every few days, reset the clock, and then wind it, right? Like the cheap watches that cost me $150 to $300, I've got a fucking battery in it that just keeps them going.
Yeah.
Like, and my Rolex, I'll say it, just is a piece of shit compared to these. You know what I mean? Like,
it's medieval.
The last watch I had was probably my favorite. It was an LG watch that was a smartwatch, but it also had hands. So
I remember you had that when you were in Europe. When we met up in France, you had that one.
Yeah, two separate batteries. So there was one that was for the smartwatch, and then there was another one for the actual hands.
It still functioned as a watch.
And that would last for 30 days.
That's pretty awesome.
So
that's smart.
Yeah. But also, wouldn't the hands?
It's a very smart watch.
When you wanted to look at the screen, that was very cool.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I pushed a button and when I was looking at the screen, the hands would sort of just fold up, so they weren't like all over the screen. They just all go to like 12. It was a great watch, but then the hands died, and I contacted them, and I had to send it back to get it fixed. And I'm not good at sending stuff in the mail, so it's still here. And then I just brought a Pixel watch.
I have an Apple Watch. It's a couple of years old now, and I use it. And I was using it, but I noticed that because you know this, I'm not a big social media person. I don't think any of us are particularly. And I don't even, my phone's always on silent. I don't want to be bothered. And I found out I just turned everything off on it. And I was like, why do I have this? I'm not using it for any of that stuff.
You're just using it as
Can
a
you
watch.
watch YouTube on it or anything like that?
No.
No, right. Yeah.
The only time, literally the only time I was like, I wish I had it was a little while ago. We were all out somewhere. And if I had it, I could have put my phone and used it to trigger a photo. That was literally the only scenario where I thought, I wish I had it.
Contactless payments, that would be great to just tap that.
Well, I'm in America, so we don't have those.
Oh, really?
Oh, sure.
I thought they was. Well, last time I was there, there were a few places I could have done it.
I don't even have a wallet anymore, Luke. I'm sure you're the same.
No.
It's infrequent enough that I don't bother anymore. I just have to have the cards anyway, so it's there's not much point in
because we're in New South Wales, our license is on our phones.
Yeah,
and we can
Medicare cards on my phone.
Medicare, so we just don't have to carry a wallet anymore. It's great.
Wallet. Yeah, it's
excellent. A wallet, there it is. Gotta have it.
My daughter calls
cash
them
too.
the iPad watch, and she'll pick up my wife's and just start saying, "Watch TV, watch TV" into the watch.
Lyra tries to say, Alex. Oh, I shouldn't have said it.
Oh,
tries to say that to things to say, play fire truck, and then
It gets upset when it doesn't listen.
Harbour hates it when I talk to. We've got Google, but she doesn't like it when she's skeptical.
When you ask questions.
Yeah, and then I get an answer from the house. You know.
Yeah.
I have to
No,
ask,
Lyra
knows
yells at it.
that's-
It's great.
do you say thank you?
Yeah, sometimes.
I do.
And you can
I'm
tell it
really
to wait
nice
for a
Chat
response too.
ChatGPT, but I'm fucking furious at Google because it's like having an inept chimp as a butler. Like
Siri's the
dropping things,
worst.
breaking things. Oh, I've never used Siri.
I was talking to Jen about this the other day. Like, they got to do something about it. It was like the first one, and it was amazing, like 10 years ago.
But they've
And it's
never
still the
got
same
better.
shit. No, they've got to
Actually,
do
I
something
lied. The
about
only
it.
time I use Siri is in the CarPlay when I'm like, play
Oh, yeah.
Henry Purcell, and it'll be like,
And half the time, it just doesn't know what you're talking
Yeah,
about. I assume.
yeah.
Yeah, mine doesn't.
yeah. It goes, playing podcast
Hold on.
about.
Yeah, it goes. Hang on a minute. Oh, hang on. Oh,
Yeah.
No,
And then
I don't
sometimes
know.
it goes,
I don't know. I
something
didn't
went
hear.
wrong, and you're like, yeah, no shit.
Obviously.
And I wonder whose
Yeah,
fault
I asked
that
you.
is.
That's what went wrong.
Yeah, that's right. Should have just reached over and fucking tapped on the big screen.
Yeah.
So what do we got? Can we go straight to Baldwin follow-up news? Because it's been a while since we've spoken
Baldwin.
about him.
Sure.
Yeah, this is interesting, and I knew this would come back up because, I mean, the whole thing about the Baldwin trial was if he can prove that he didn't pull the trigger, it completely changes the way he fits into the whole narrative. And then finally, somebody admitted, you know what, maybe the gun was faulty and he didn't pull the trigger, and then he pretty much got off. And now because Gutierrez and all of these other people who are also being charged, they're still doing tests on these guns, and they're kind of coming back around to the
You pulled the trigger?
Maybe someone had to have pulled a trigger. That even if the
God.
gun was faulty, a trigger would still have to be pulled for it to fire.
See, I think there should be something, but whether he pulled the trigger or not is not, I don't think it's the real issue with all of this.
Yeah, I
really
it-
don't.
I
Only
do
'cause
wonder why that's such a
he
big.
because he made a big deal out of it.
Yeah, but he was also. I mean, obviously they must know this. He was in shock, and it was a stupid idea
Yeah.
to go in the interview. He shouldn't have said anything, but like,
Yeah.
he doesn't remember.
No,
He
exactly
doesn't.
right.
No, the whole
But
issue
if
with
he
this
had
is
knuckled down on the first day and said, I was told there were no bullets in that
Yes.
gun, and it's
Yeah.
not my job to know whether or not the bullets are in that gun, and it's not my job to question the armorer.
There shouldn't have been any bullets on set. He shouldn't have even had to ask, "Are there bullets in this gun?" Because it
Yeah,
should have been
that's
safe
right.
to just assume that they
Yeah,
weren't.
yeah. We're playing the Cowboys and Indians movie, right? This is not like a real gun that could like kill people.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to ask this,
Well,
but
I
clearly I
remember
do.
people were trying to say he should have known, he should have had training, he should have been able to tell by the weight of the gun when it was handed to him and stuff. And
It
that's
shouldn't
just
be
ridiculous.
a factor, though. No, I mean, there's an argument for that, right? But then, fine, that has to be across the board, and you have to change the industry. Like, I know people were saying that, and it's like, okay, but that's not how it is.
That's not Baldwin's
So it's-
fault.
But
kind of
there's a
pointless.
big difference between someone who handles a gun professionally every day. They could do it. An actor who comes on, even if you send them training for that, they're not going to be able to identify that difference day in, day out. It's not practical. There just should be
Just
no
use
bullets on
pretend
set.
guns, guys.
That's
Just
apparently
use
that's what The Rock
pretend
does.
guns.
That's what he says.
Yeah. Because The Rock
Rubber
goes,
guns.
I dare you to be able to tell the difference once we put in all the muzzle flashes and stuff. Like,
Yeah, like it's been. The only reason
yeah.
they use blankets.
you don't
because
think this
back,
gun's real?
Back in the day, it's the only thing that looked real. We don't have that
sure.
problem anymore. You do CGI for putting a sign on a door.
Mate, Matt made a movie once where he used a blue fucking what was the PlayStation 2? What was that?
Was a
blue?
lock on?
Yeah.
It was like the Time Crisis. gun.
Time
Time
Crisis.
Crisis. It was the Time Crisis
Yeah.
gun with the cord up his sleeve so that you didn't know that it plugged in.
We couldn't tell the difference.
Fooled everybody.
Put
I had to
on
go
a
to
lens
court and
flare
prove
in
that
post,
Dave was
and I was
alive.
like, fucking hell. But that was the first.
No, I had to
honestly,
go to
Matt,
court and prove that I myself was alive. Because if you recall in that film, I shot
he
myself.
shot you. Yeah, that's right. The baboon. Those early, like, I assume that was after Adobe After Effects that
Yeah.
you used for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was before I'd done any experimentation with them, and I was like, Matt's a magician. Like this stuff is beyond. This is Hollywood techniques here.
The first Ninja Warrior Budokan, listeners, you will not see this. Don't ask.
It's amazing.
I'll find it.
First-
I've got it
And I'll-
somewhere.
to clarify, it's not even the first Ninja Warrior Budokan. It was the third Ninja Warrior Budokan. The first one I did the special effects on, where we had lightsabers. I rotoscoped those in Photoshop frame by frame.
Oh my god!
Damn.
Well, we didn't have anything better to do in those days. So
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, we had a lot of
spent
free
a
time.
weekend drawing lightsabers over the pieces of wood that we used.
It did look amazing though.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
it looked
looked
better
like
than most lightsaber things I've tried to do since then in After Effects.
Yeah, it looked like the early Star Wars movies because that's how they fucking
exactly.
did it. Yeah. Pulsating like light.
So yeah, we're saying
Very
if Matt could do
time-consuming.
this 10 years ago, they could do it today.
Sorry, 10
think
years
so?
ago. 10 years ago, we were 32, mate. This is when we were
Yeah.
18.
Okay, so
that's
it's
a long time
plus
ago.
years ago.
A very long time ago. Photoshop
Yeah.
4 or 5.
Yeah, it would have been 5 about that time. Yeah.
I met the guy who created it.
Photoshop.
Did you?
Really? Huh.
When I went to the filming of episode 3, because he was talking to this guy, and
Oh.
because it sort of came from sort of ILM and stuff, like it was a.
Yeah.
And I was talking to him. He goes, "Oh yeah, I created that and this."
Oh, I am in Photoshop.
Yeah, and I'm,
Yeah. He's like, you owe me some money if you've used Photoshop at all or anything.
And but at that stage, I had been using it, and none of us had a license.
No, oh God. No.
I certainly would have owed him money for that copy. I wouldn't have had any though. So
I got my copy of Photoshop 5 from the guy at the garage that Dick used to work at. Because Dick got a job straight out of high school at this like mechanics that he was apprenticing to, and he was like, the guy here can get you literally any software. You give me a disc and $10 and tell me what you want. So this was real piracy. Like I paid for pirated stuff.
Well, that's sort of what
I got
it was
mine,
back then. You knew someone who could get it or had it.
Yeah,
I got mine
harder to
because we.
find.
I probably don't want to tell this story in the podcast before, but we lived downstairs in Eastwood. Right? We lived in the downstairs unit, and up above us, on one side was a scary big guy who we didn't mess with, and on the other side were these two other people. I won't say where they worked. They worked for a telecommunications company in Sydney, and they had
there aren't many, so
cable. They had cable, right, which was not common back then, and it was
Yes,
fucking
yeah.
fast. So no caps, no nothing, because they worked there. And so we said, well, why don't we just run a network cable out of our bathroom window up into your house, and we'll sling you some cash every month? And they said, all right.
yeah.
It didn't last too long because they got a letter saying, what the fuck are you using all this bandwidth for? And Dave and I were like, but that's where I got my copy of Photoshop.
And that's where I
Sure,
copied
yeah.
a great porn collection.
Oh, there you go. Also, it did mean that we were literally on the network with their computers, which,
Oh, sure.
like these days, I don't think you'd even consider doing that with just the random people that live downstairs.
Yeah, not
At the
random
time,
Oh,
it
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
wasn't a
If
thing
a
that you
neighbor
thought
of mine
about.
said, do you mind if I just run a network cable out? I'll be like, fuck off, mate.
I do
Well, now you
remember
just
when
get it on the Wi-Fi,
Well, yeah,
Well, yeah.
I do remember.
and
when I
it'd
first
probably be
moved to-
faster than this was even.
I remember when I first moved to Canberra, so waiting to get internet installed because you have to wait, and it was going to be a 2-week wait. So got there. So who's not protecting their Wi-Fi? And that's how I got internet for the first 2 weeks. Now everyone's got passwords. People have learned.
Well, I
I think
love it
it
when
forces
people,
you now.
not just passwords, but people also try to name their Wi-Fi things you don't want to click on. You know, be like,
Yeah.
it's like people will name it like ISIS terrorist group.
FBI surveillance van.
Yeah.
Right, well, you got to have a password. I'm going there.
Matt, do you have a Mountain Dew in one hand and a Scotch in the other hand?
It's tequila. I was
Oh,
gonna put
tequila.
Tequila.
I was gonna put the Mountain Dew in
Wow.
the tequila, but then I was like, no, I'll just drink tequila.
Oh man, I don't do tequila.
I cannot do tequila ever again.
No, yeah, ever again.
Ever
Yeah.
since the Fox? Was it
I
the
remember
Fox?
What?
Don't call me that.
Melbourne.
Oh,
I
yeah.
I could
know.
never drink it again after that night. We were wrecked.
That entrepreneur we met.
Yeah.
Oh,
restaurant.
and
that guy
brought
who
us
was
a
gonna
lot of
bankroll a whole
drinks.
bunch of
Ox.
stuff.
The Ox.
Colin Oxlade, who I think might be in prison now. Maybe we shouldn't.
Surprised if he's
Maybe
not.
we shouldn't be
Or
talking about him on the
someone
show. We need that
bearing
feature.
his name is in prison and the ox is on an island somewhere.
Could be.
But yeah, since that night, I've never been able to drink tequila again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once you overdo tequila, it's hard to go back to it because it actually is disgusting. It's not like other drinks where it's like, but it's such a nice drink. No, it isn't.
And the problem with tequila is you can be drinking it
tequila.
and you're fine, and then the next minute you're falling over drunk. There's no sort of real in between. I find with tequila, you get fall down drunk.
There's not enough in this glass for that to happen. So,
Not
and
that
I've got
attitude.
my Mountain Dew.
Yeah, so there is some Mountain Dew news. I mean, it's not something we have to spend a lot of time for. I just read the hound line, the headline: "Woman douses herself in Mountain Dew to cover up murder," and I thought, I need to know about this.
Yeah, we
I love Mountain Dew,
surely.
but I don't know if it helps.
Well, she got charged with obstruction of justice, covering up evidence by pouring Mountain Dew on herself. So I think it does count a certain bit. So
Why Mountain Dew?
police. Well, okay. So police. This is in Florida because, of course, it is.
Florida.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Florida, where you're not allowed to teach Shakespeare in schools anymore. We haven't talked about that, but too sexy. Too sexy.
Look,
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that.
Florida.
Not the fact it's too
right-wingers
sexy,
tried
it's
to
just the
ban
fact
the
it's
Bible because
terrible.
it was too sexy. Yeah, well, I think it's probably in the 21st century. There's enough other literature that we don't have to just rely on Shakespeare.
Star Wars.
But,
They'll find a red. No, it's got incest in it. No good.
Yeah. So this woman bashed her husband to death and then set fire to her house to, cover up the evidence, and then
Right.
took herself down to the local Denny's or something.
Oh, so it
To,
wasn't just she had Mountain Dew just available there. She
Oh,
went
no.
out of her way to get it.
Well, yeah, except that the police apprehended her on the way to the Denny's, right? And when she saw the police, she quickly dropped her knife and hammer, right?
Oh.
And said, "Oh, those aren't mine."
What are
And
they
then
doing there?
When they said, "We fucking know what you did," she was like, "All right, I'll tell you everything.
just let me have a
First,
quick drink.
Can somebody get me a Mountain Dew?" Yes, Matt. Yes. So the cops went and got her a Mountain Dew so that she could sip it and calm down and confess to the murder. And then she began dousing herself in it and saying, "You'll never find any evidence on me." So
That's hilarious.
Remember that hammer and knife we just saw you drop that have all your fingerprints over it and his blood?
yeah, and the blood of the victim. Yeah. Yeah.
Although the cops were like, "All right, you can have a drink. What do you want?" "Oh, Mountain Dew." All right, sure. Like,
Well,
fucking
I think
what?
they do that because if she's looking like being compliant, that's the easiest
Sure.
way to just get. Yep, she committed to it. So you do, but the thing that
Yeah,
annoys me
get
is
it a little bit. You want a sandwich? Sure, mate. Yeah, what do you want? Yeah.
Yeah.
tattoo's a bad name because this is why I can't get a neck tattoo yet.
Yes.
Second
his
thing
head.
neck
Yeah.
tattoo, you think criminal.
Yeah. Yeah. Or Maroon 5 frontman.
Yeah. Or
I can't
emo.
even see your neck. You've
Yeah, good point.
beard's long enough. I mean, I don't mean because you've got a double chin. So don't look at me like that.
Yeah, you
No,
can't see my
it's finally
double
got long.
chin either.
I just don't like the fact
why I've
of
got a
how much
beard.
white there is.
Yeah,
It used to be very
your
red.
beard's come in very grey, hasn't it?
It's white, thank you.
Well, yeah. Well, your wife was the one who explained to me that there's no such thing as a grey hair. It's either just your normal colour or white next to your normal colour, which makes everything look grey.
I think redheads tend to look whiter than grey because their hair is sort of fairer. So
Yeah. Man, there's nothing more tedious than trying to grow your hair in after having a shaved head.
I got called out yesterday because I've had the back of the head which is sticking up, and they called me out looking
Yep.
right about. Oh, I can't do anything with it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just there. They could get a haircut, and I went.
No, my boss literally said to me, "Why don't you just cut it?" I'm like, cutting it is the opposite of what I want to happen.
I need to get it long enough that I can do something with it.
Yeah, if I was going to cut it, I'd just shave it again. Because I either want much, much longer hair or it just shaved again. None of this in-between shit.
Mine just
Matt, what do
doesn't
you
grow
think?
back.
Yeah, Matt's way in, buddy.
I gave up. Oh, my daughter did. Mine. I was lazy while we were up in Vermont, and I had the ear infection and all that kind of stuff. And I got lazy, and it did grow out a little bit. And I picked her up from daycare, and then she came. She said, "Daddy," and I picked her up, and she was like, "Daddy, you have hair. Good, good." And I was like, "Thanks, honey. Thanks."
Yeah.
She was like, "Good job."
Oh,
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Like, you can grow it.
Yeah.
The magic's in
Oh,
you.
You're doing it.
Yeah.
I believe in you.
Oh, my daughter loves it when I've got a beard. Does she play with your beard?
Oh yeah,
Not my
She
daughter,
does this-
your daughter.
yeah. Obviously.
Yeah.
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 My nephew was playing my beard, but I've got piercings, and he actually
Isn't
got
your
his,
nephew like 20 years old now?
I nephew on Hannah's side.
Let him talk. Let him talk.
We've got some Michael Jackson follow-up I'd like to go into.
But he got his finger stuck in my piercing, so we didn't have a very good time for 30 seconds while we're trying to sort that out.
Wow.
Fucking hell.
Because
Yeah,
he was trying to
yeah.
pull away. I'm trying to can't. I'm going with him. We were
still
both
talking about your
Your
beard,
Honor, I swear that's what happened.
It's my story, and I'm sticking with it.
I never thought I'd have to say this on our podcast, but do we have any Uri Geller news?
I'm
I hope
baffled
to
by this.
Christ we don't. Okay, let me
do.
just preface it.
We
No.
do. So you guys, I know we haven't talked about this yet. I don't know if you guys talked about it when my ear was infected, but
We definitely didn't talk about Uri Geller.
there's been quite a bit of UFO news lately. I assume Luke's on top of this. That's
Oh
his
yeah,
kinda-
yeah. If you've been listening to Eric Weinstein, it's all he fucking talks about. Now.
Oh, I haven't,
I
but
actually
I'm sure
not
it is.
over this because it's
Oh. No, this
Yeah.
one in particular, no, but they had the congressional hearing and all that kind of stuff. And, I talked about the congressional hearing.
Never
where,
trust the
people said
government,
nothing.
except when they show you UFOs. Then it's the government. This is the only
Yeah.
ones you can trust.
But he's a whistleblower who got permission to go and
So-
talk.
But
I
he's a
talked about-
pilot, so he knows what's in the sky,
Yeah, exactly.
Luke.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, he was in the military, therefore he's more believable.
Pilots are sky experts.
Even though he's not saying he saw anything, he's just saying he got told by somebody else that he's fuck off. So anyway,
Oh, I hate this.
I talked about the pyramid stuff that really disheartened me. This is almost worse because I
I've
go
got
on
one
Twitter
for you
now
too.
and I see people talking about this, and I'm like, guys, come on, like it's not real, like. And then they go, "Oh, you're saying he's lying." I'm like, "No, he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to be lying for it to not be true. He's just mistaken."
Especially
It
if he's
happens.
saying,
I love
"Someone
these
told
people."
me this. Well, he was told that.
Yeah,
But also,
he just made a mistake. Like, yeah, they saw a thing. There's been Mick West himself,
Yeah.
presumably, has already put forward several potential explanations for it.
Mick West has pretty much done the maths and gone, I totally get why you thought it was this. Because to somebody who doesn't know this level of mathematics, wouldn't be able to understand how something can move in the way that you think that can't possibly move in that way, but it can.
Yeah, or it probably didn't. It just looked like it did because of
The angle you
the
were
camera
looking at,
moved,
et cetera, et cetera.
or
that's
exactly.
right.
Yeah. So and they hate Mick West, UFO believers. They think,
Oh yeah.
and they were talking about, this is a dark day for Mick West when the congressional hearing was on, and he was
is.
supposed to going, I'm fine. What?
Yeah,
what are
yeah.
you talking about,
Yeah.
mate?
And also, Mick West, he's like, mate, I would love to see a UFO.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not out to debunk. He doesn't even
Yes.
use the word debunk anymore. I mean, but
And they say,
but
my friend saw this, my friend saw that, and Mick's like, here's my email address. Get him to call
let me
me.
talk
I'll
to
talk
them.
to him.
yeah,
I want to talk to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But they think
and
he's
I'd
just-
love it to. I'd love it if he could convince me.
Yeah.
I've just never had anyone be able to convince me.
So this week, Uri Geller, and I saw this because Mick West replied to it. So I saw it on
Oh,
X,
sure.
not Twitter, on X.
No, it's still pronounced Twitter, Matt. It's just spelled X.
Yeah. So Uri Geller posted a photo on Twitter this week, and he says, "My dear friends, I cannot at this stage reveal any information about this photo, but please be patient until I'm allowed to say more, if at all.
Or he did say a
Blah,
lot
blah,
more
blah, blah,
later.
blah. Remember, I've seen alien bodies in a NASA refrigerator room with Dr. Werner von Braun and Captain Edgar Mitchell, who walked on the moon."
Yeah,
There was a CIA
but
scientist with
I
us.
can only bend spoons that I bring,
Yeah.
not ones you hand me.
But then he posted this photo, right?
Yeah.
And then most people immediately responded and said, "That's the X
seen that
Files.
before.
That's an
Yeah.
episode of the X Files." That's not a photo you took, Uri Geller. That's a
Yeah,
photo.
that's something you found
the X
on
Files.
YouTube. Yeah,
So what was
And then
his
he said-
response to
Carter.
that?
His response.
Oh, he had a
He
lengthy
did
response,
respond.
Luke. Yeah,
Dear
he sure
skeptics.
did.
Some of you
Oh,
had a
look at
photo.
response. We need to go back to having limits on how much you can say on Twitter.
I know, it's
Or
ridiculous.
X.
He says, "Some of you had a problem with this photo I posted because you claimed it came from the X-Files series. I don't see any similarity to the morgue body trolleys, nor to the bodies on them from the X-Files series. It is them, Uri.
Yeah,
It is
yeah,
them.
going into a lot of detail there for something
That
you
photo
don't see
you
the
posted was
similarity of.
taken by the prop guy Like, this is documented. It's not up for debate, mate.
Like, it's not a new photo. We've seen it.
I'll say it again and again
and again.
over and over.
Dr. Werner von Braun showed me alien bodies.
Why would
right,
they
mate.
show him?
Yeah.
When we went inside, it smelled like a hospital. I could
was
see what
somewhat
looked like
similar to
heavy
the
glass
ones in this
containers
photo.
with lifeless bodies lying inside them. Okay, so not what's in the photo then.
Yeah.
There's no
that's
glass
right.
containers in the photo. Anyway, this guy's full of shit. It just disheartens me how many people are replying to him going, "Don't worry, mate, the truth's going to come out."
My thought was this: if you're trying to keep something a secret, you got all these people involved. Why would you invite this guy to come and have a look?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Talk show favorite Uri Geller.
Yeah.
Come and have a look. You should tell Johnny
But
Carson
you can't
about
tell anyone.
Yeah. Also, Werner von Braun, the Nazi scientist.
Yeah, I was about to say.
What are you name dropping
that's
him
who we're
for?
going. Yeah, Braun. I know, right? Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
ex-Nazi, Matt. Ex-Nazi. The Americans
Sure, but
have claimed him
yeah.
as their own.
When you Google him, that's the first thing it mentions.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, don't Google him. Yeah, no. Don't look at his war crimes. Just look at Operation Paperclip
exactly.
stuff.
Yeah.
And if the photo I posted did come from the X-Files, could it be the production team or the special effects people involved based their models and effects on a genuine photo or image that had been provided to them? Yeah, hi, Chris Carter. Yeah, it's the government. If you're going to show aliens in your show, it's important that you show them correctly. Well, actually, my show's about kind of like exposing government lies. Yeah. But just in the spirit of that, here's a picture of the actual
it's really
alien
hard
bodies.
it breaks my immersion when I watch it and it's not accurate. So if we could just send you some photos, that'd be
That's
great.
right, yeah.
It makes no sense. Like, why do people believe this when that's a story? Look, I want aliens to be real. I do.
I would
And I
love
also
it, but
believe that if aliens were real and they were coming here, they're here for terrible purposes.
Oh, Matt, did you finish Project Hail Mary?
Oh, I did. Oh my God, so amazing.
And there was a point, and absolutely no spoilers, but there was a point 3/4 of the way in where I was like, you better not fuck me, mate. You better give me a happy ending because if one single fucking thing happens to this charming alien, I'm going to fucking come for you.
There are so many things in this book that I did not expect. Like, it just kept taking turns and turns and turns. Like, even like when I thought I knew, I figured out where it's going to go from here. That's fine. I'll write it out. And then just like, it's a thing that, again, no spoilers. There's a thing about him that gets revealed at the end that I was just like, fucking hell, that's so good. That is so good.
So good. And that you would plant that and not reveal that till so close to the end of quite a long book, like trusting your reader will just go on this journey with you and then just give them this gold right at the end. It's
I'm getting
so
close to it.
really
I
good.
purchased it last time we spoke about it.
The audiobook is
now
great. I did the audiobook.
downloading
Matt.
it.
Did you?
I've now
Same.
downloaded it.
Yeah, audio.
So,
Project Hail Mary.
one step closer.
12,
Listeners-
13 hours.
Project Hail Mary. It's great. It's really good. If you like The Martian, you'll like it. It's The Martian times 100 because it's actually like a full-on
It's really
space adventure.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen The
it's-
Martian yet.
Oh no,
I
Martian's
don't know why.
excellent.
The Martian's okay. The Martian's great, except fucking Ridley Scott pisses me off these days.
Oh, Matt is like changing camps
Yeah.
here. 2 weeks in a row going against Ridley.
So The Martian, the book, is again is fantastic, right? Really, really good. In fact, second only to Project Hail Mary, perhaps in that genre, that very heavy science fiction, like hard
One
sci-fi,
man lost in space
kind of
genre.
like modern, very near future hard science stuff. And his
Science
other book,
fact,
Artemis,
science
is also
fiction.
very good. Actually, I don't know if you've read that.
Oh no.
There's one that was in between them called Artemis. It's set in the moon base. That's also very good. But in the movie, The Martian, there's a bit at the end, like spoilers for a book and a movie that are quite old now, where in the book, Mark Watney, the scientist, right, he gets back up into orbit, but he's not close enough to the ship that's trying to pick him up, right? And they're trying to figure out how the fuck are we going to get him.
Section?
Yeah. And in the book, he says, well, I'll just cut a hole in the arm of my suit and I'll fly over to you like Iron Man. And then they all laugh and they go, no, that's fucking stupid. Don't do that. And he's like, no, obviously I'm not going to do that. That's stupid. But then Ridley Scott comes along and he goes, he's going to do that in the movie.
Yeah.
He's going to do that in the movie.
Yeah.
And so that movie, I was loving it. And then that bit happened and I was like, the fuck?
Did you guys watch Ad Astra?
No, I should watch that.
So Ad Astra is the same. It is 99% one of the greatest man alone in space science fiction movies you're likely to see. And Brad Pitt is amazing as just this fucking depressed guy going to space for all the wrong reasons.
Oh, that's right. I have seen this. When he's going to, because he's going to go see his father.
Yeah.
Yep.
So his dad essentially got lost in space 30 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Thought missing. And then they're like, we picked up a transmission from Jupiter and we think it's your dad. And he's like, my lost dad is why I became an astronaut, right? So they sent him to get there. But then there's just, but then there's, and it's this really great stuff. And it's mostly about how his psychological changes happen over the course of this mission, right? Because he has to talk to this computer to give it a psychological update for it to allow him to continue. It gives him a psych evaluation to allow him to continue. But he spirals into madness.
Sure.
But then somebody at the studio said, what if we took that beautiful existential story and then put a couple of ridiculous action set pieces into it?
Oh, yeah.
And there are two. One where he climbs on the outside of a launching shuttle.
Launching shuttle?
To climb into it as it escapes Earth's orbit.
Right. Okay.
Yep. That plausible scenario. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. And one even less plausible scenario later in the movie.
Yeah,
so
right.
it's like you have to just switch off your brain when those two silly
Sometimes
things
you
happen.
do to get the story moving. You have to allow for something.
How does he get into the ship? I don't know. He climbs in. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Well, they've already bought the rights and are developing Project Hail Mary into a movie starring Ryan
There's
Gosling
some things
as
in this
Ryland
book
Grace.
that I have no idea how they're going to pull off. But
I can't wait to see how they fuck this up. But if they don't, this could be the greatest movie ever made.
yeah, give it to somebody who has a track record of not fucking things up, like Denis Villeneuve. Or
I mean, I'm being a
somebody
little
like that.
Yeah, I'm being a little.
No, but you're not though, because it would
hyperbolic
be
there,
so
'cause
easy
it-
to fuck this up.
No, but I'm saying it could be the greatest movie. I mean, maybe not, but it could be really, really amazing. Like, it could be a really, really good science fiction movie, better than anything we've had in years and years and years.
You haven't had a good science fiction for a while. Oh, we
So
haven't
I actually,
remember bad, good science fiction movies?
oh yeah,
We don't have any of them anymore.
you mean like, well, what do you classify as bad good? Are we talking like Event Horizon being bad good, or is that just good?
That I would say is
That's
good.
just good?
I'm talking
Yeah,
about
okay.
just sort of like old, just science fiction movies that are just like they're in space and they're going here.
Oh, they're
and
just
stuff
for fun.
Just
Yeah,
for
yeah,
fun.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
we don't have them anymore. I don't get
Like
those
Silent
movies.
Running or something like that. Where it's just
Yeah.
I love Silent Running. Yeah,
of course.
Silent Running's great. Yeah, yeah.
But it's not good.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
We
yeah,
don't
yeah,
have
yeah.
that being made anymore.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. So I was trying to see what I'd read of Andy Weir, and it turns out I'd actually read some of his short stories
Oh,
decades ago.
yeah. He used to
wrote this
post
one
stuff on
called-
Reddit.
Yeah, all right. So he wrote.
Yeah.
So I found on Reddit, like when I was like 25 or something, this story called "The Egg," right? Which I thought was the most profound thing ever when I was like a college student, right? Which is about this guy who dies and goes to heaven and meets God. And finds out that he is the reincarnation of every single human being who ever lived. And it's the same consciousness just being put into every body to experience every different way that life could possibly occur.
Yeah, right.
And I thought that was utter genius. And this is
quite neat.
before the guy was a novelist. This was just a
Yeah.
guy who had a blog and used to post short stories. And
Yeah,
I was
well,
like, I can't
'cause
believe
he-
that's the same guy.
The Martian was he couldn't get it published, and so he just would post chapters on Reddit for a long time and built up a following. And eventually, people were like, "Oh, we'd like to buy a physical copy of it." So he self-published it on Amazon, and it just went fucking nuts. And then now, jokes on the publishers because he made infinitely more money than he would have if they had just given him a shitty cut of it in the first place.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was
so
able to
it
sell the
does-
film rights by himself.
By himself,
to-
which
and presumably he made bank off that as well.
Sweet cash. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he let
Now-
Ridley Scott do that at the end of it for some reason.
It's still a good movie, Luke. Don't let.
Oh no, it is. It's
out of it.
it's fantastic. Just that bit, just like It just if it didn't have that one bit in it, it'd just be like better. It's so unnecessary.
There's a couple of bits like that in Project Hail Mary that I worry they could lean too heavily into.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, because and actually and again, I don't want to spoil anything, but the end of it is a little light on action for a film, a modern film. Like it's more character stuff for the back end of it than action stuff.
True.
I feel like they'll probably want to add some drama to that. That's not in the book.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
I will get around to listening to it. I promise. May
Luke,
take me a decade, but
if you like Arthur C. Clarke, and I know you do, you will love this.
Well, I actually just purchased the audiobook because someone just won the Arthur C. Clarke Award. Because I wanted to see, like, if he's won that, this might be good. And that's Venomous Lumpsucker.
That sounds like
the
a
author?
Penrith band that you would have listened to.
I
Back
know.
In the 90s.
But yeah, I just saw this.
Is it the book or the author? I need clarification on that.
That's the name of the book. It is by Ned Bowman.
Okay.
So he just won that, and I've gone, well, I like Arthur C. Clarke's work. That near future, very hard sci-fi. So this is set like in 2030s, and not 2030s, 2030. That's 2030, isn't it? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say to 30s. Is it the 30s we're going to go with?
The 30s. Yeah, the swinging 30s.
The 20s.
You're just going to ignore the 90s.
It's all
like
different now anyway, because we still say 2000. Nobody said 1900 and. You know what I mean? We just said 19.
Well, we don't know. Maybe
No
they
one
did
says
it in the first
2020.
couple of 100 years of the
Oh, yeah,
century?
maybe they did.
maybe century.
No, I think because the 80s were fine, 90s were fine, and then we got to the 2000s and it just got confusing. And then we
Yeah, but at a certain point,
Now we're
people
into
won't be
20s.
confused anymore because if you say, "Oh, back in the '80s, I did this," they're going to go, "What, the 1780s?"
Yeah,
Like, no,
yeah.
obviously not. Oh,
But, like, even though we're approaching the halfway mark of this century. You know what I mean? But if I say turn of the century, you still imagine a penny farthing.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
that's true. Yeah, that's true. Literally a penny farthing
Yeah.
is what I imagine.
Exactly.
So I'll let you know if
So-
I ever listen to this, what it's about.
I'll tell you this. Yeah, please. In fact, I'd love your thoughts. I think you'll really like it, actually. It's not some
the thing
like
is, I used to
intellectual.
love
It's very like
reading,
it's scientific, and they
yeah.
put facts
Yeah.
in there. But
Yeah.
it's,
Oh yeah.
That's why I used
I
to love.
assume
Like,
everything except for the plot is real.
that's why I
when
used
I
to
read
love like
everywhere.
hardcore science fiction when I used to read a lot. Like Arthur C. Clarke, I used to read it, and he actually started putting blurbs in like, did this, and this is like NASA's doing research into this now, like, and stuff
I mean,
like
even
that.
if he takes some liberties, that's fine.
you have to
Whatever.
though, because it is also
Yeah.
still.
Oh, I mean,
still-
he must have in this. There's almost certainly
Yeah, of
things
course.
in this
It's
that
future-
it's like,
there's some
well, we
future-y
can't know
stuff.
that, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you base it off what we know now and where we're going. But yeah, there has to be some stuff. You take a leap where we might get to that.
Just
or-
just the amount of effort that clearly went into that too is just like it's just a joy to like read / listen to and to,
Yeah.
just to know.
But
man, he must have spent so
doesn't
much
treat
time
you
on
like
this.
an idiot. He
Right.
says it in ways to you because like it's narrated by the character who is a scientist, but
Yeah.
he talks to you as if you are also a scientist. So he'd be
Sure.
like, "Well, the first thing I thought of was to use like this technology, but as we all know, that would only
Yeah.
work in zero gravity, and I've got the
Yeah.
gravity turned on." Like it makes you feel smart for reading it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of smart people versus idiots, I got caught up in a conspiracy theory rabbit hole the other night. So I've had a cold this week, so I'm sleeping in my study because now that we have a child, if we both get sick, it's all over, right?
Sure.
So one of us needs to be well at all times. So I've just retreated in here, but it just means there's just no reason to not stay up late going down conspiracy theory rabbit holes on
Be careful.
Reddit. But I came out the other morning and I opened up my laptop and I found all of these tabs open of like Amazon and all this stuff where I was like, I'm so glad I didn't pull the
Is it
trigger. on
Amazon
buying
or
any of these books.
Amazon.com? Oh,
No, but just like I was like, oh fuck, these guys I'm gonna read everything they've fucking published on this. So you guys are aware of the out of Africa theory, or the out of Africa hypothesis, being that all human beings on the planet right now are the exact same species of
Yeah.
human being, even though there have been many, and we
Yeah.
are all of us, every single one of us, evolved from a single tribe of migratory hominids that
Yep.
moved out of northeast Africa about 70,000 years ago, right?
Yep.
yeah. I'm familiar with
colonise
that.
the whole
That's
world.
what I was taught as fact.
That's pretty much what
a long
most
time.
academics would assume. Now, there's still questions in that, like, okay, well, how did they, and what happened when they encountered the Neanderthals in Europe and the Denisovans in Asia and all of this stuff like this, right, that we don't know. And there is a lot of controversy of people that say, well, if that's the case, how have the Australian Aborigines been here for so long? And how has their culture been so continuous when, A, you wouldn't have had, like, seafaring technology at that time to get to Australia. B, they came here as if it was their destination. A, knowing it was there, which they couldn't possibly have done. And B, if they were so technologically advanced that they didn't just then start conquering South America and other places as well. They seemed to know that this was their destination, right? Now, the truth seems to be that sea
Land
levels
bridges.
were so low back then that, yes, that they essentially walked here, right?
Yeah.
Across what we now call the islands of Indonesia, what they used to call just land, right?
Yeah.
But there are these Aussie guys who are, they are archaeologists, but essentially from further reading, I've found out they're essentially disgraced and no one will publish them.
They're the most interesting kind, though.
So the main guy is called Stephen Strong, and he has published many books on what he calls the out of Australia theory, right?
Oh.
Which is
So
the
everyone
theory
came
that-
from here first.
Correct. And
okay.
so his hypothesis is based on the fact that is in fact what the indigenous mythology actually says, right? So the Aboriginal stories of the Dreamtime say we were the first humans and everyone else evolved separately in different places. So he's not necessarily saying that everyone started in Australia and then spread, but he's saying that the people that began in Australia, that lived in Australia, the original inhabitants, evolved here, right? And then he backs that up with evidence. I'm using evidence in quotes, but he does find evidence. Do you know what I mean?
Isn't
That's
it
tough,
like they
though.
found like the oldest cave drawings were in Australia or something and stuff like
and
that?
they found human remains that shouldn't, because they like, if they walked from Indonesia, then that means they were at the top of Australia first and then had to migrate down to the bottom. So why is there cave art in the bottom of Australia dated before they were even supposed to have left Africa? And I guess the answer is because it's not as simple as that.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, that's all it is very interesting. And maybe there's something too, but then I would think, aren't we all too similar, like genetically to evolved completely separately? Like, doesn't,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I could be wrong.
Yes. No, you're not.
I could be wrong, but maybe that's,
You're not wrong.
I don't know.
Well, it's the whole thing,
I'm
like-
not a scientist. I'm not a
With the whole
biologist.
like different races back then were like the Neanderthals and stuff like that. It wasn't that they beat them, like killed them. It was that they bred with them, and that's sort of what it is. Like,
Or that they just competed with them for resources. And,
yeah,
and
no, I'm saying like you didn't.
Unless-
It wasn't genocide. We killed them all. We sort of bred. and
Unless we did all evolve
new-
separately, but we were seeded from the same stuff.
Oh, yeah.
space.
Black stuff. They got put into a river.
Sure.
Yeah.
Several rivers.
Yeah.
No. Prove me wrong, Danny.
I know, it's interesting. I'm just asking the question.
It's one of these things. Like they can get a pretty good idea, but then also understanding like stuff that happens like not like over a couple of years, which is where a lot of people who don't believe in evolution, they believe like, well, why isn't it involved now? Because it doesn't take months. It takes
We
how it
are
works.
evolving now.
thousands
that's right.
of years.
The
It's
stuff
not
in
something
between
that's
doesn't just
overnight.
stick around like reproducing.
Well, but that's the thing.
turned into it, the other thing.
It does. We're all the stuff in between.
Yeah, there is no in between. It's just what is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because at
Isn't
some
they
point,
find a mitochondrial ancestor of theoretically everybody?
They theoretically found one, but they didn't literally find it. It's not like they found a body.
I
and
remember
was
that from
like, this is all
Battlestar
our
Galactica.
great.
That's all I'm saying.
No, but that's certainly the theory that there would be one female that is the ancestor to
Yes.
to
So
everyone.
all
on
the
planet,
whole
like a
human race,
mitochondrial Eve, as it were. Yeah.
Yeah, her name's Eve.
Yeah. Lovely
Adam's
lady.
wife. Yeah.
That's right.
Made from a rib.
Yeah, that's right.
Delicious.
Yeah. Oh, I love ribs. Yeah. But so, and I was buying this to a certain point too, because it's like, you're like, yeah, okay.
Well, it is
And then
interesting.
it's- Yeah,
Like,
but and
those
then
are
they
good
start
questions.
saying, but then they start saying that there's similarities between the myths of ancient people. And you're like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. I'm also
Yeah, that's
very
true.
interested in finding that. I mean, there's the whole theory of the monomyth. that Joseph Campbell talks about, which is just like humans come up with the same story structure no matter where you are. But then, these guys have got a whole book about how some Aborigines traveled to ancient Egypt, and that's why they've similarities in that. And like, probably not though, right? Probably not.
They probably didn't.
Maybe, but probably not.
But that's how sort of these things work. They start off with stuff that's plausible, and then they just go leap. And then there are people who just, this is all true, and go down the rabbit hole.
It reminds me of some of those guys that emancipated from Scientology. There's a guy, Haggis, Tom Haggis. He's a screenwriter, Hollywood screenwriter, and he's very vocal about leaving Scientology, right? Because he was like, when it first got described to me, it was amazing. It was basically just a self-actualization cult. It was a cult, but I knew that basically they said, if you join us, we will give you the confidence, the skills, and the contacts to achieve your dreams. And he was like, sign me the fuck up. And so he was doing it, and as he was raised through the levels, they were giving him more opportunities, opening more doors, and then one day he got to a certain level, they took him into a room and they're like, right, we're going to tell you about the squid monsters now. He was like, sorry, what? And they're like, yeah, you're ruled by squid monsters.
I'm out.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Can we just pretend this meeting didn't happen?
Yeah.
Can we go back to yesterday?
Back to level 6? Yeah, please.
Yeah, I'll just stay there. Because when I did go into Scientology just to do that course and buy those books, there was nothing about
just to join.
Yeah,
they still send me emails, and I haven't had a phone call for a while. But
well, that's good.
They don't focus much on what it's actually about.
Yeah,
it's more on that self-building, that confidence, that like, here's this and this will help you with life and that.
In fact, it might be a problem that you know already about that stuff. I don't know exactly what they would do about it, but I'm sure that would that'd be somewhat problematic for them trying to.
I would say they would
the
just tell you
floor.
that's flat out not true. No,
because most of the information I have about the beliefs in Scientology do come from South Park.
Yeah.
They are very well researched.
Yes. Like that the aliens came here on like 747s essentially, and yeah.
There's a website back in the day that I got a lot of info from before that. I think through Something Awful, somebody on Something Awful linked to it. Because I forget, some high profile person had like bailed on the church, and anyway, there's a website that was like, this is what they believe, and everyone was like, no, it's not.
It's
For a long time, people were like, no way.
Yeah.
And then it turns out,
like
it is.
I got to know some Jehovah's Witnesses, Jehovah's Witnesses once, who were telling me that basically if you do enough like good stuff on Earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the afterlife, you'll get your own planet.
Yeah.
That you're the god of. And you can move
That's
your family
Mormons
from
too,
Earth.
right?
Maybe it's Mormons I'm thinking of.
And Mormons believe that, I think.
What?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's some sci-fi shit, mate.
Yeah.
Like, you do so good that you get to become God, and just now I control
Of a
these.
planet. Yeah, but also you move your family to that planet. So you could like if you've got a fucking uncle who's like a really excellent one, you could suddenly have to be, you've got to leave Earth because he's actually got a planet
that's where
of his own now.
that's where it falls apart for me.
That's where it falls apart.
Well, no. When you think about it,
My uncle.
If you're
I don't want my uncle on my planet.
no, but if you're really into this and you believe that, like, I'll get to go, and then if I get to take like my family with me, then wouldn't you start to notice that no one you've ever known has ever just entire bloodlines have just disappeared overnight?
Well, maybe it's like Spider-Man. You just don't remember that they ever existed.
Oh,
And that's why there's abandoned houses.
You don't even
And
have an uncle.
No one's working the shift tomorrow.
Used to be tons of Mormons in Detroit.
Yep, and they all used to work at a car factory. Who's working there now? No one.
Nobody.
Yeah, no,
Ratchet.
I think that's the problem I have with it. That's where it doesn't work for me.
That's
Fair
where.
enough.
That's where.
Until then, yeah.
Before we wrap the main show, we got a little while to go.
Oh, already?
But I want to talk about some video games.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
I'm good at video games.
I finished the main story for Assassin's Creed Origins.
Okay.
Took a lot longer than I thought it would at the
It's
start.
only taken about 10 years,
Things that are no. Origins only started this year.
but it came out a long, long time ago.
Oh yeah, but I didn't play it, so that doesn't count. It was very good. Got convoluted, like as their plots do. I really feel like it lost the thread there a bit. Like all I cared about was him and his son,
Yeah.
and it kind of went all over the place a bit. But it wrapped up in the end. It was good. I probably won't go back to it. I've got tons of stuff left to do. Don't care.
Yeah.
I've finished the main storyline. I'm good. I was surprised where it ended, actually. Luke, you finished it, right?
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I don't want to spoil anything.
I cannot
spoil
remember,
this.
though. It was a very long time
Okay.
ago.
You can spoil
I killed Julius Caesar.
it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
I do think it was bizarre that they made an ancient Egypt game, but set it
It's heavy
in
on the
Roman times.
Greeks and
they didn't
Romans,
set
yeah.
it- yeah, because by then you'd have Alexander the Great conquer them with the Ptolemies, and then you'd had the Romans conquer.
Yeah, interesting. Well, I mean, it makes sense politically for the intrigue that they want going on, I guess.
Yeah,
Like,
and to keep
'cause it gets
in
into a
line
lot
with
of that,
the Middle
Cleopatra
Eastern
and everything.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, yeah, it was good. Good. It, like I said, just kind of meandered as they do. Like those games pad themselves
Yes.
out, basically. And then I thought, I want to play Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's
Just
Gate
before
3.
we move on from Assassin's Creed, I can actually just announce that. Well, not announce. They announced it that the
Luke's
new
developing an Assassin's
game
Creed game.
is coming out this year, but they've moved the date for it.
Further
Have
or
they?
back?
Here's something. They've actually moved it forward.
Oh,
So the game's
Is that
already
to
gone
not
gold.
does not compete with
Well,
Starfield or something?
Starfield just went gold.
it does compete a little bit more because October's sort of a very busy month for games. But so they've actually, it was meant to release on the 12th of October. It's now going to release on the 5th. Whereas
Okay.
Stargate comes out beginning of September. So I think
Stargate.
Starfield. Got Stargate in my head.
There was a Stargate. You know what? Because Stargate is a fucking excellent movie, and
It is.
It holds up even to this day. I watched it earlier this year. Before we completely move off Assassin's Creed as well, I haven't played any more of Origins, although it's very, very good. I did download an early access of a game recently called Gate Zero. Have you heard of this?
No.
So this is developed by the publisher is called Bible X, and yes, they are a Christian-based game developer studio. This game essentially is Assassin's Creed with Jesus, and I heard about it, and I was like, I have to fucking play this.
Wait,
It doesn't
do
look
you
too
play as
bad.
Jesus?
No, you don't play as Jesus.
Oh.
It doesn't look bad, does it? It looks quite good, and I'm interested
I was
historically.
like, parkour
speaking,
Jesus, I'll play that.
in like ancient, the ancient Near
Doing
East,
miracles?
but so you're hanging out in Jerusalem and all these places, and you hear, I think, I don't know what the story. Travel through time to ancient Israel in this compelling, rich adventure. Gather resources, use stealth to avoid danger, log riddle. It doesn't say whether you're pro or con Jesus.
Don't think the only thing I don't think I'd like about this is I don't think you get to attack people.
I'm looking at this one screenshot, and it's like, in games like this where you find an item, you hover over it, and it
The Holy Grail.
Holy Grail, pick up X.
Oh my god.
Yeah, pick it up.
Look, I don't think. It does look good, but I think it's going to be a full-on stealth game. So I don't think it's going to be you fighting.
That's how I play these games anyway. So
But the
I'm
problem
in.
with that is if normally I do try and play stealth, but then if someone sees me, everyone has to die. It's
Well,
Yeah,
blame
maybe that
Jim's
happens in
fault
this
that
too.
you're dying because he saw me.
Yeah.
But in this, it looks like it might be
Shut your mouth, Jim.
yes.
Yeah.
So okay, but no, it does look. It looks good.
It does look good. It looks way too good for what it is.
Oh, and I'm looking at like a future thing. So yeah, it does look like a very Assassin's Creed. Like you go back and relive a memory, and yeah.
It's Assassin's Creed
Animus.
with Jesus.
Yeah.
All right. What's it called?
Gate Zero.
Gate Zero. All right.
I mean, I'll report back next week and let you know
Yeah.
how it is.
Well, I played some Baldur's Gate 3.
I have
I'm
one
on-
question.
I'm on my Mac,
Oh, no.
and
Have you fucked a bear?
technically, I haven't fucked a bear yet. I will, but I haven't yet.
You.
The Mac version is not released yet. I'm still early access. Only the PC version is out, like console or only PlayStation, because it's not coming out on the Xbox. But
It is.
Well, is it?
Yes. They're still working on it.
Yeah, well.
when you say they're working on it, I don't think they are working on it. I think they're waiting
they're
until
arguing about it.
Yeah, I think
they are working on it, and
Well, they
they're
still
also
want to.
well, there's nothing to work
"Hey,
on,
can
right?
you
The problem
stop?"
is that they can't release it with co-op on the Series S, and Microsoft said, well, you can't release it with co-op on one and without co-op on the other, and so they said, well, we won't release it then.
No,
so they're
but
kind of at an
they have-
impasse. So I don't think they're working on anything.
No, the last thing I did say, they are working on it on the S still, but I think they're more so trying to push
Okay.
Xbox to go,
Okay.
don't.
Yeah, just let us release it without co-op so it fucking works.
Yeah, I mean,
Look what happened to
I really
Cyberpunk.
don't
Just let us
understand
do it.
Microsoft and why they are so. I guess it's because they want to blur the line. Doesn't matter which one you get. Get the
The
Xbox.
problem is that's how they sold the two consoles. The fact that they will both work on both.
But
They
what
should.
is that? Relying on the fact that half the people don't know the difference? Like,
The only
it's
reason a lot of people
so
brought
weird.
an S was because there weren't enough stock of the X.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So it
I mean, I
will
was lucky
come
to get one
eventually, and I
during
think
that
they
time, and
are.
I only got one because you got two.
I've got three actually. I've still got.
Yeah,
I
that's
also-
right.
anyway, so
you
I-
didn't give me one when you got a second. You give me one when you got a third.
I need to have a backup Xbox. If it breaks, what am I meant to do? First world problems.
I played a bunch of Baldur's Gate 3, really enjoy it. It's fucking excellent. But I realized
nothing good.
I should wait until the final release version because, first of all, I don't even have the full character creator, which it's going to annoy me if it gets released because I'm going to be like, what if my
You're gonna have to go
character's,
Yeah.
I haven't realized the full potential of my
Yeah.
character kind of thing. So now I'm waiting. So I thought I'll try something else. And I checked out Atomic Heart on the Xbox because I hadn't played that yet.
Mm.
And I don't like it.
No,
Yeah, I didn't like it either.
Struggled with it. It's
I didn't like it.
That
either.
character is so fucking annoying. I was like, I don't
This
want to
was one of
play
my
as
most
you.
anticipated games of the year, and I put
just-
it on.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, I am not enjoying this."
I don't know. It misses the mark somehow. I just can't.
I've
Like,
not
maybe
even
it gets
gone back to
better, but the start of it was, I was like, I don't like this. And then I
Don't give a shit.
had to fight robots with an axe, and I was like, this is
Yeah,
not
and so
fun.
many robots. It's like, okay, you kill robots. I'm bored now.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
missing something, and I don't know
Yeah,
what it
I
is.
agree.
And
I think
shame.
he's
It's
just
not
the character,
open
main
world,
character
but
is very
it is,
unlikable
and-
for me. I just felt like I was like, shut up. He was like whining about everything.
Yeah,
I try and put it on every now and again to try, but I go like it's not quite clear what you're meant to be doing, and
it's pretty.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like
Oh, yeah.
very pretty.
definitely pretty. And like the world looks cool. Like,
Yeah.
but just, I don't know.
I,
Yeah, it
look.
really didn't
One thing
grab
I
me,
will
and
say,
I played it a bit and then I was like, nah. And I just
I'm
deleted
so
it.
happy this is a Game
Not gonna
Pass
play
game
it.
because I would have been upset if I
right.
paid for it.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
I might have forced myself to play it more and maybe
I definitely
convinced
would've,
myself I liked
yeah.
it. Yeah, but the fact that it was Game Pass, I was like, yeah, okay, I'll just write this off.
Yeah,
Well, so I played some more Diablo 4 instead. And then that's great.
I need to go
That's
back to that.
People are really mad about it because it came, the season 1, they do the seasons thing
Yeah,
in Diablo. That came out. First of all, I guess a lot of new people didn't realize you have to make a new character for the seasons. So they were pissed off about that because I guess they didn't explain that very well in any of the marketing.
Well, it's not an RPG. It doesn't matter if you're playing it with a new character.
Oh, I know, but I guess people didn't understand. And then they also put a whole bunch of new weapons. I think what happened is there's a new thing where you can upgrade your weapons in a way you couldn't before, and they realized, they're too powerful. So they downgraded everything in the game to
Right.
balance it, which fucked over people who were kind of min-maxing their characters. And then, I mean, the practical effect for someone like me is nothing
yeah.
because I don't care. The game still plays the same, but the people
Yeah.
who are really super into it got
You
pissed off 'cause
understand
it's-
what the stats are and how everything works together,
Yes,
and
it ruined whatever their spurgy plan was for their character. So anyway, game's still
Yeah,
fun.
for people like us, it makes no real difference.
No, I couldn't
You
even
click
tell
a
that
button and
anything
you
was
kill
different.
monsters.
Literally no difference for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not looking at the numbers. I'm just holding the button down while my barbarian spins around and hits things with his two fucking swords. He still does that.
Yeah, I was about to say, aren't you describing Diablo 1, Matt?
Yeah. Yep.
And 2?
This one,
And a bit
it's
of
it's
3?
very much like that, except this one is got an Eastern European feel, which I like.
Ooh. Actually, I like Eastern Europe.
It's got a
It's
very
prettier. Just because it's newer.
They're all a little prettier, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 kind of looked like 1, but 3 was shinier. 4's
Yep.
even shinier.
yeah, it's good. It's fun.
It's funny, like 1 and 2 came out pretty close together, and then a long time between 3 and then 4. But yeah, games 1 and 2 used to come out very quickly back in the day.
Well, it's like the first 2 Fallouts. When Fallout 2 came out, it was like, can we have another Fallout, please? We want it exactly the same, except just a bit longer. And they're like, yeah, sure. Here it
And
is.
they
About
got
this?
rid of the worst feature that Fallout 1 had. That time limit to get that stupid water chip.
Oh, the chip. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was the worst thing about the Fallout game. Because if you did sort of get distracted doing other stuff, the game just ends.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It didn't reward you for exploring before you did the main story,
Yeah.
No.
which I know
Quite the opposite.
Luke wants
It's
to
a rush.
unlock every part of the map before he even attempts the story.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's got to decide what he's going to do. He needs to know in
Yeah.
advance all the options.
Last time I played through Skyrim, like I went through and then but playing through the main storyline, I was just a monster just slaughtering everything because I'd already maxed out every other skill and had dragon armor
man.
before I'd ever left Whiterun.
So I tried to do that. My last playthrough of Skyrim, I was kind of the same. I wanted to basically not say no to any opportunity that came up. If I passed a cave, I had to go into the cave. If someone
Yep.
sent me on a quest, I had to go into. I had to say yes to everything. Except you can't do that.
People live their
because-
lives like that, Dan.
and I,
That's what-
not me though.
I've been
Matt,
told.
not
I've been
me.
told you're supposed to.
I know.
Always say yes.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Now I'm gonna say you're gonna have to make a choice with Starfield with that because there's 1,000
I'll be on another
planets.
planet. Yeah, that's right.
Well, the first game that taught me you can't do that was The Witcher, the very first Witcher. Because when you get to that first town, the way I used to play games was you choose every dialogue option to
Yes.
unlock all the
Yes.
possibilities.
Yeah.
But when you talk to that dwarf, like blacksmith in the first town, one of the options is just to talk to tell him, make some offensive joke. And if you click that option, he goes, "Fuck off." And that's it. He won't talk
That's
to you
it.
ever again. And then you don't have a blacksmith.
Good luck buying any up. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's how it is. Okay. It's the first
Yeah.
game that ever had consequences like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the second you meet him, you do want to insult him because this will be funny, and then I'll just go back and
Well,
just say
I'll
real
go through all
funny.
these dialogue
You
options.
assume
Oh, this will be
if
fun.
it's
You'll
on
probably
there,
laugh.
I can say it.
Yeah.
And in
Yeah,
fact, a
things
lot
like-
of those old games, like even Skyrim, you have to say everything that's available
Yeah,
to you
to
or
get all
you
the
miss out
info.
on opportunities.
And if you
Yeah.
insult them and then you just talk to them again, they just, oh yeah.
He literally goes,
Yeah.
fuck off. And he won't talk to you ever again.
I love in Skyrim, like, obviously characters are programmed to just say certain things to you, no matter where you encounter them. But, like, if sometimes you walk into the shop and the guy's like, I work at the local shop. And you're like, I know, I'm in the shop right now talking to you.
I'm
It wouldn't
happy
be a
you're here 'cause
Bethesda
I want
game
to
if they
buy
didn't do
something.
that, though. Starfield, they
I'm
have to do that.
disappointed though because they've
Bethesda
taken
thing.
they've taken the arrow in the knee line out completely, as far as I can tell. Because in this entire playthrough, no one has told me about the arrow in the knee, and that's all I remember from the first playthrough was that everyone. I used to be an adventurer, and I took an arrow in the knee.
I love all the screenshots of the guards going, have to keep our eyes open. There could be dragons around. And there's like a fucking dragon breathing fire on him, right? Like,
Yeah.
as he's
One of my
speaking.
old bosses, if
He's
I was
like
calling
on
in
fire.
sick, when I was calling in sick, I just sent him a message that I took an arrow to the knee and he'd go, okay, I'll see you tomorrow.
He's like, great. Well, I've just told him again. I'm just playing video games. And he's given me the day off.
But yeah, no, evidently Starfield, they have said, is going to be their least buggiest game ever. Which it'd want to be since they postponed it for a year. Because remember, it was meant to
here
come
we
out in
go.
November last year.
Don't get
think,
angry. We don't want any more
I'm
games
not.
released before they're ready.
I'm actually happy that they're doing this because we're close to being released now.
Fallout 76, they must have learned a lesson from that. Please have learned a lesson. Because
Yeah,
that was...
don't make
Human
online
beings in your
games.
yeah.
There's a lot of lessons they learned from that.
No, they're still
adding content
they're still
to that,
adding.
though,
People
and-
are still playing
yeah.
it.
To be
Yeah,
honest,
no,
I keep
I know.
thinking of going back in.
I think
but I don't know.
it got okay. After.
You can essentially play it as a
Got
single
okay,
player game.
Yeah. Yeah.
You still can.
I
But
mean, people are playing Starfield already. I've seen like journalists are playing it to get their reviews ready. So We're not, obviously.
Time will tell.
I will have a review for you before it's released.
Ooh.
Will you?
Yes.
Wait, what does that mean?
Never you mind.
Oh, it's a threat.
Wait, a review from somebody
Listeners,
else or from yourself?
I get an early copy of it. That's all.
How early?
How early?
I don't know how early. Not this
why?
early, but maybe a week early.
Why? Why don't I get it?
Because I've done something stupid. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Move on.
Oh, because of your
'Cause of my
pre-order.
stupid thing. So I get.
We can't move on. If we move on, we're moving on to the after party.
Yeah.
Just spit it out.
Well, you essentially get early access. So a lot of people are going to have early access, but the official, I'll still play it before the official release date.
Okay. So see, now we've bookended this with the actual reason that your
Yes.
wife will be murdering you is because you've bribed Todd Howard to give you the
you've
game
paid
early.
a lot of extra money.
And she listens to this, so
How
I'm
much
going to
did
be
you have to
murdered
pay
before
Todd
it
Howard?
even
That guy's got a
arrives.
lot of money.
It's a pretty watch.
It's a
Yeah.
very pretty watch.
Pretty
We
watch.
should be able to watch it on the video of this podcast.
You should be able to know what time it is that you're getting it early.
Yes.
Yeah. Speaking of the
As
after
Matt
party,
mentioned,
what is the after party?
Yeah, the
I've-
after party is well, basically, the fun doesn't stop here, Matt.
No.
The
No?
fun continues in the after party, just with less pants and a colour
You're wearing
change.
pants?
Find out in the after party. Patreon.com/multiple nerdgasm/pants.
Minus slash pants.
I'll say this: I've recently started wearing drawstring pants, and I'm never going back. I put a pair of
So
jeans
have
on
I.
the other day, and I was like, jeans are fucked.
I
Fuck
told you I
this.
bought those linen pants a little while back. I bought more of them. They're so comfortable.
Yeah, I'm wearing what they call joggers, which are like
yeah.
slightly posher tracksuit pants.
Sure.
I wear them every day. Every day.
So you're not going full bogan?
I mean,
He's not wearing a blue singlet, aka
that's true.
as
A
we used to
wife
call them,
beater.
a wife beater. Probably don't call them that anymore.
I wouldn't even call it that. Yeah, not
But yeah, that was really a terrible name to call something, wasn't it?
just casually.
Yeah.
That was-
you wearing your wife beater, mate. I could beat my
be
wife
clear-
wearing whatever jumper I wanted to.
Let's be clear, this is where we grew up. That's literally what everybody called them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't an edgy joke or anything.
No.
That's what they were called.
Yeah, and in fact, if you wore a different color one, they just put the
it's a-
color and
yeah.
still say wife beater. Oh, you all got a
It's a
wife
black
beater.
wife beater. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. A white wife beater.
Yeah. The blue one was the official uniform of
Yeah.
the wife
Yeah.
beater.
Yeah,
That and a pack
it
of Winnie
happens
Blue.
so often.
Again, this is not just us. Everybody called it that.
No,
Well, everywhere we grew up, at least.
And it's because, and now, like we just said it, and Luke literally in real time went, "Oh, that's a bit off, isn't it?" But at the time, it didn't come up because that's
didn't
what it
even-
was called. We didn't even.
think about it.
It's not associated with what the name is, even.
No.
No, and in
It's
fact,
what the thing is called.
battered wives would call them that without
Correct.
going, "Oh, that."
Because
triggers
it
me
wasn't
into
it wasn't
the time I
called
got-
a wife beater. It's just that's what they were called. That blue
It's like when
singlet
old
was-
people now. It's like when you point out to old people now how something they call something is racist, and they go, "Why is it racist?" You explain, it, and they go, "Oh, I never really thought about it." It's
Yeah.
like that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, I had that actually. Yeah, like Chinese whispers.
Oh,
yeah. We just call that whispers at my house.
But no, because I actually said that at work the other day, and I've gone, oh, hold on, because that's just a game I played
Yeah.
in primary school.
You know, in the whole rest of the world, they call that game broken telephone. It's only in Australia that we call that shiny. We decided to make that.
they don't call it that
racist.
here, actually. Yeah, because it is broken telephone. You just said that, and I'm like, that is what they call it here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I had to talk with someone at work to go, is this? He's gone, no, it's fine. I went, but yeah, I just never
Yeah.
thought of it because
Yeah.
that's just
Wiley
the game I
giving
was
you an Indian
taught.
burn.
I was taught in primary school to play Chinese whispers.
I was taught in year 3 social studies to call the Aboriginal people wild black fellas.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've got the workbook to prove it.
Well, Crocodile Dundee encourages some stuff that's not, so the rest of the world's probably aware of all the horrible things, but they think it's normal. Like, I think that's
Well-
why the rest of the world thinks Australia is intolerant and
Well, I think Australia's just
horrible.
always been
That's one of the reasons.
casually racist more than
yeah,
other countries
yeah.
that are
Very
actively
casual about
racist.
it. Yeah, yeah.
Actively racist. I'll make
They're
an
not
effort.
good.
I'll make
They're
an effort.
terrible.
I'm actively racist.
Yeah, when I think of it, I always
I get off my ass and be
Yeah.
racist.
Oh,
Get out
God,
there
how
and
do we
No
go down this
Give
racism
it
in
to
the
them,
after
you know?
party.
keep them on
Let's
there.
move
Keep
on
them on
to
their
something
toes.
else. This
No,
is
let's
terrible.
move on. No.
This is still the main show. See you all in the after party.
That's all for this week. Thank you for listening and we hope you enjoyed the show. If you enjoyed it, then please subscribe in iTunes to receive episodes automatically. We'll see you next time.